Hey y'all, hi. So this is the receptacle from which I have been doing my makeup every day for the past, I would say, month. And in it, there's a mix of the makeup that I know that I need to be able to put on either a relatively elaborate face for filming, which still isn't that elaborate, but to do the most, or to do the least just for any given day on which I want to wear a little bit of makeup. And what's also in this crate are the things that I've been testing. So stuff that's come in PR, stuff that I've gotten for review for YouTube, that's kind of gotten mixed in either before or after I featured it in the video because I'm continuing to test it and kind of try to figure out what my final verdict is. Today, I'm just going to go through everything in here and give a review of each item. So it's like a review roundup of everything that you might have seen me use and everything that you don't know that I've been using, everything that's fresh in my hands and on my mind. If you happen to be new to my channel, just know that sometimes I do more structured and produced content, and sometimes I just sit around talking about beauty products because I love it. And this is the kind of video it'll be good to fall asleep to, do chores around the house to this. It should be chill, but information packed. And let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. Okay, on top here are brushes that I've been using for powders because I've been doing a bit of bronzing lately, as you may know. I've been using the Rephr 30, which is this big fluffy bronzer brush, and the Rephr 04, which is this fluffy angled brush. For base products like green color corrector, skin tint, concealer of any kind, I have been using these two, the Rephr LC03, which is their synthetic fiber base brush, and then the Sigma soft angled concealer F72. I have been really enjoying both of these brushes. Each one of them has kind of stuck it out for a really long time as the only one that I want to reach for its purpose. So this one for blending out a bunch of concealer or skin tint quickly over a large surface area or green color corrector, and this one for doing some more targeted application, usually of concealer. And then the Rephr 37, I like to keep around just for cream blush in general. Also sitting on top of the crate is this Merit bag, which has in it some of the new Merit products. Should we start with that? I think I'm just going through in no particular order. These, I haven't actually really tested them. So we're kind of departing from the brief a little bit already, although I have, so this is the one I've tested. They sent me some of the new lip liners and then 2 shades of the shade Slick Sheen, which has just come out in some new colors. The lip liner that I opened that I've actually been using quite a lot is in the shade Bespoke. And they say it's a gel lip liner, which is like, how would that work? Because you want a lip liner to have some stick-to-itiveness. And yet, I don't have it on today, but every time I use this, and I have actually used it quite a lot since this arrived, I love the way that it looks. It doesn't have the longevity of, for example, what I am wearing, the new Rhode lip pencil multi-bananas thing, peptide lip shape. So also kind of billed as a lip liner, lip shape. You can also fill in with it. It's basically a lipstick. I find it has more longevity, so I have tended to prefer it when I'm putting on a lip and I'm going to be eating and drinking or I'm going out and about or something like that. However, it doesn't look as good as Bespoke because this is the thing. It's a little bit sheer. It's this gorgeous neutral brown. Both of those qualities together make it look impeccable. It just looks so good on the lips. I honestly can't get enough of it. Let's look at the other colors that I have here. So going from my thumb towards my pinky, we have Bespoke, Tabac, Mayfair, and Sportif. I feel like Bespoke is going to be my favorite of all of them, but Tabac really intrigues me because it's like more of a yellow brown, sort of a pukey brown, and I'm kind of interested in that. These other two are going to be a little bit more like lipstick colors on me. All of them are acceptably grungy. Okay, all of them are delightfully, acceptably, blow most brands out of the water grungy, and I am delighted by the shades. This isn't the entire shade range. There are a couple of more, but I'm delighted by the shades. And honestly, even the ones that I don't have here, if I remember correctly, most of them looked incredible. They did an incredible job with the colors. I think it's just a question of whether like a sheer-ish, gel-ish lip liner is something that feels like you want it because you want to line your lips or overline them a little bit. You want to fill in the vermilion border a little bit. That's what that skin is called. That's not your lips, but it's also not your face. A traditional lip liner is intimidating because you're worried it's going to look really overlined or stick too much and stay too long and look like an outline. You know what I mean? If you're intimidated by lip liner, basically, but you've always wanted to try it, and this would be the perfect hybrid product. Just know that it might not have the longevity. In the shade Slicks, we have Twin Set and Tabby. Twin Set is the lighter, pinker one here, and Tabby, I thought it was going to be a brown based on the imagery, but it's definitely like, I don't know, like a berry rose, just a little bit of a foggy color. It's not the brown that it looked like it was going to be. However, I like both of these colors better than I liked any of the colors in the original shade range of the shade Slick. So that's exciting. I feel like both of these are super wearable. I'm going to be able to just put them on without thinking about it, put it on without a mirror. Both of these are going to immediately go into like handbags and pockets and the diaper bag, and they're just gonna be floating around in my life getting a ton of use from this moment on. I can already tell. I actually want to put one on, but what I'll do is I'll move on to talking about the Rhode product before I do that so that you can see it on my lips while I'm telling you about it. I bought this myself. I, in spite of my original misgivings, have been intrigued and also very impressed by almost everything that I've tried from Rhode, which is a lot of stuff, and it's all stuff that I've bought myself. It's just actually really thoughtfully formulated. And I think that a lot of what whoever is making the decisions at Rhode, maybe it's Hailey Bieber, maybe it really is her, maybe it's her with a team, maybe it's other people, whoever it is, their tastes really align with mine in a lot of specific ways, from formula to color. I don't know. It's ringing my bell. So when this launched, I agonized over the color to the point where I think I probably didn't make the best decision for me. I went around and around in circles so many times about which color to get. They're like $25 or something. So I wasn't going to get 4, I was like, let me just try one and see if I like the formula. And then if I like it, maybe I'll get another one, because the colors are so great and great in different ways for me. Like, it was just really hard to choose. I went around so many times that I ended up just kind of closing my eyes and picking one. And I like grunge. I like mucky browns. I like grayish green colors. I like the kinds of colors that you'll often see. You will often see a lipstick launch with like 30 shades, 20 shades, 16 shades, and there literally won't be a single one that I would wear. There won't be a single color that intrigues me. Time and time again, brands have released lip liners or lipsticks or lip glosses that I've wanted to try because the formula looks promising. And then I go to purchase it for review and I'm like, I don't like any of these colors, any of them. And then I don't end up buying it because I don't like the colors. I had the opposite problem with this. At least half of the colors, I was like, these are all just nuances of what I love, like different versions of what I love. And if any one of those colors had been in a regular shade range, it would have been like the only one that I wanted. What a great problem to have. So I ended up with Balance. It's interesting because on me, it reads a little bit caramel. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit ruddy warm, but it's neutral enough that it doesn't lean orange on me at all. I rarely am able to get that, like a lip color that I feel like is a caramel lip on me, because usually if something is a caramel color, it will really look orange on me and it isn't flattering. This, I like it because I didn't have to go all the way to the super kind of twig colored cool tone brown to get a brown that I can wear, and I quite like it. I've been wearing it a lot. There it is swatched underneath all of the Merit products. It looks like it's the closest to Sportif. Like, it looks pretty close to Sportif in the Merit lip liner, but clearly it has a bit more opacity and is maybe just a little bit less rosy. It's got this silicone. It looks like a highlighter, but it's just made out of silicone. That's surprisingly amazing for blending out the edge and blurring it into your lips so that it doesn't look like too harsh of a line. And I use it every time I use this and I really, really like it. This is currently the only thing that's on my lips, and I've been wearing it like that as a lip color. Honestly, it's been my preferred product for the past week or so since it arrived. I've worn it every day. So on top of this, now I'm going to put a little bit of Twin Set from Merit, which really, with so much other pigment product on my lips and with the light application that I just gave to my lips, is doing nothing more than adding a thin layer of moisture and just a little bit of, again, sort of semi-foggy gloss. But it's really nice. I love the Merit Shade Slick, and I'm excited to have some colors to wear more easily than the other ones. Okay, moving on. We really are going in no particular order. I'm just going to reach in blindly. This is almost used up. There are some like panned things in here, some empties that are mixed in, and this is almost that. I'm like having to work really hard to squeeze a little drop out every day, or squeeze as much out as I need. It's becoming a struggle. L'Oreal Prime Lab 24-hour redness eraser primer. It's a green color correcting primer. I'm not going to swatch it because I've used it in every video for like the past several months in which I have put makeup on my face, because it's been my only functioning green color corrector. I used up all the other ones I was using. The only other one that I have that's in the testing phase is the Issa Mayo one, which I haven't used since the video. I was like, maybe I can try to make it work, and no, it hasn't been worth the trouble. So I'm not even sure it's in this box anymore. This is what I've been using absolutely every day, and the finish is so good. It's so skin-like. It's very green, but it really applies like skincare. It doesn't sit on the skin like makeup. What I've been doing most days is getting myself in really good light and then putting on this, and then really just looking at my skin and being like, where else do I actually need coverage? And some days it's barely any, just a little spot concealing, a little redness on my cheeks. Some days I need a little bit more and then I'll use a little bit more base. But this is what's been doing the heavy lifting. You know, because I like change and because I test products, I might get something else, a different green color corrector now that this is used up to test. But if I can't find something I really like, I'll totally repurchase this. The Ilia Skin Rewind Complexion Stick in shade 1N Hinoki. Wow, it's really blending into my hand. It's really hard to see there. I was so excited about this product when I first got it, and I applied it on camera and I was really enthusiastic about it because it's this great combination of qualities. It's thin, like the substance is pretty thin and buffs out to, it feels like a very, very lightweight, slightly blurring, sort of silicone-y layer. It doesn't feel like slick and silicone-y like a Charlotte Tilbury matte lipstick. Like, it doesn't feel unpleasantly that way. And certainly not to the level of something like Benefit Professional. And it might not even be silicone that's in it. It just has that more of like a whisper light touch. That's what brands tend to call it, like a light blurring balm feeling a little bit. It's really sturdy. Those sort of blurring balms don't usually have that quality. It's really sturdy. It sticks to the skin. It stays. It has stick-to-itiveness. And it feels like it has a tint level of coverage, meaning that you can kind of build it up. And it does build, but it doesn't overwhelm the skin with makeup or look cakey or anything like that. I just really I like a stick. I like something that's sturdy. I like that it's pale enough for me. I have used it, right? So it's been in this crate. I have been using it every once in a while. I'm like, I'm going to do my base. And then I decide to sort of dig through and experiment a little bit. And I've used it on those occasions, which means that it hasn't been my go-to, right? It hasn't risen to the top and become my number one default skin makeup product. I'll tell you what has when I get to it. And the reason for that is that it's a little on the pink side. And when I did my makeup with it, really in like clear, full sunlight, well, diffuse sunlight, so I could really see. Even with green color corrector, it's that very, very pale pink shade that doesn't work flawlessly on its own. It's like I would have to tinker with it, balance a little bit more with green color corrector, maybe with some yellower concealers. It's purely a shade issue for me. If there's a better shade match for you in this product, it could very well be the perfect thing for you because I think that it's great in every way except for that one. But because I have so much to test, I'm testing so many things all the time. One little thing, like the shade being just a little bit off, the undertones just being a little bit off, is enough to knock something off of the top of the pile for me. Here's the product that perhaps predictably, if you watch my videos, has become my default number one, risen to the top of the pile. It's the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Tint in the shade T1.5, which is the pale olive shade. And I was swatching them next to each other here so you can really see what it is that is letting me down about the Ilia. You can really see, well, what I was going to say is how yellowy green the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint looks next to the Ilia, but actually what I want to say is you can see how peach and how pink the Ilia looks next to the Lisa Eldridge and how much more like real skin the Lisa Eldridge looks like in its shades. You know, I feel like that green, that gray, that's in a lot of people's skin. Just like a real vibrant, kind of ucky-mucky real skin color, and that's what this looks like. And the Ilia looks a little bit more like painted porcelain slip or something like that. I have a full review of it. I'll link it. It's extraordinary and unique to the market, and I'm really impressed by it. I like how soft it is. I like how skin-like it is without having too much reflect in it. It makes the skin have a really pretty texture. I don't have to think about it. It never looks weird towards the end of the day. It applies pretty quickly. It spreads pretty effortlessly. It matches my skin, right? It matches my neck. It really works for me in all of these ways. The one drawback of this is that it gets kind of messy and it's really watery, right? A lot of makeup products get messy. It's just the nature of the beast, you know what I mean? But it's very liquidy. So I will often open it and then I'll have to manage a drop, trying to drop somewhere. And sometimes a drop is dropped onto my clothing or onto the rug or something. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. This is partly because I don't have a dedicated makeup space because we're still working on getting things set in the house. So a lot of times I'm doing my makeup standing in front of the bedroom mirror or sitting on the bed or something like that. I've started to think of this product as a little bit of a loose cannon, and I pick it up and I shake it up and I get ready to open it and I'm like, okay, pause, focus, try not to drip it anywhere. But that's the one thing. The only thing other than that has caused me to stray from this is restlessness with doing the same thing every day and curiosity about the other products that I'm testing. But nothing has come along to unseat it as my preferred daily use, just general all over the skin base product. Kind of tired of talking about base products, but I want to swatch the other ones I've been using on my same hand with these same products. You can see them and they're old news, so it'll be quick. the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealers and the Refi Concealers. In both of these, I have 2 of the lightest shades, but not the 2 lightest shades. I've got like the very lightest one for lightness and then the most neutral next lightest one. So in the Natasha Denona, it's RN1, Rosy Neutral 1, and Y1, which is yellow 1. And mixed together, they make my exact shade. In the Refi, I have the shade 1, which is a really great neutral brightening shade that I use the most. And then I also have the shade 3. So if I'm just using the Refi, I can mix those together and like do my whole face. But the shade 1 in the Refi is like the magic bullet. It's such a great product. I want to swatch all of these. The top 2 are the Natasha Denona concealers and the bottom 2 are the Refi concealers. I've talked about both of these at length over the years, so I'll make it quick. The Natasha Denona, I just pulled these out pretty recently because I needed a spot concealer. They're really full coverage and they're pretty matte. They're very matte actually, and they give an unbelievably flawless finish, especially on camera. They look so good on camera. Just they make the skin look so good. And I hadn't used them for a long time, but when I pulled them back out and got them back into the mix, I found myself reaching for them a lot because they're just so dependable, and I like something that has a ton of coverage and that can go a really long way. I like using that and spreading it out as thin as I can get it, then still getting the benefits of that really seamless coverage. I've found myself reaching for these to spot conceal because it's a little bit easier than kind of digging out my pot concealer and using a brush. They're just solid, all-purpose concealers that don't reflect light or give off a lot of shine. So I also find myself using them when I'm trying to dull shine in general on my face. Now that they're back in the box, I don't know. I reach for them all the time. It's a really good, the best thing that I've seen from Natasha Denona. I haven't tried everything in a long time. I really appreciate her eyeshadow formula and I used to just salivate over it. But for me, this is the Natasha Denona product that has fallen the deepest into my actual life and that I've gotten the most use out of. The Refi concealer has the most beautiful finish of anything that I've come across. It was like my hero product for last year and I still really, really love it. The skin is glowy and has a dewy look without being too reflective. It's a wet look, but it's a flattering wet look. And the coverage is like the medium buildable. It's a thinner, more serum-y product than like the full glam coverage of the Natasha Denona. I found myself not reaching for these as much as I was doing for like months and months on end when this was all that I was using because of the other base products that have recently come into my life. The Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint, the Natasha Denona concealers, their resurgence. I've just kind of been into those lately because it's something a little bit new. But I still think that these are some of the best on the market. I'm trying not to categorize, but I feel compelled to keep going with base and just get it out of the way because I was alluding to this. Okay, so this, the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Gel Tint. I recently tried this on camera for the first time and I was so impressed by it and so excited by it. And that's fair. That was fair. It's a really sturdy and interesting product and has some great qualities. However, I've continued to experiment with it since then because it did really excite me. And I often end up feeling the way that I feel today, which is just that I look like there's makeup kind of heavy on my skin. It's just a pretty makeup-y looking product, which is interesting because it looks super skin-like. It's the thing that looks very wet, but not necessarily in a flattering way. It's so addictive to apply because you feel like you're painting on this gorgeous skin. Zoomed in, it looks like that, right? You see it go on and then you see your skin with this on it and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like so beautiful. And the artist in me is like, that is just beautiful. Like the finish is beautiful. But the way that it makes my whole face look, it ends up not being as flattering as other things on my face, just like looking pretty reflective, maybe calling a little bit of attention to like the pores, the lines just being a little bit craggy. I don't know. It's never quite right. When I sat down today to film, I was like, I feel like it just looked that great. Like I look a little weird and it's because of this. And I didn't put that much on today. I sort of gently, I used my small concealer brush to paint it on like underneath my eyes, on my chin, my forehead, just to kind of cover the redness. And then I went in with other products to spot conceal and to just generally clean up and to mattify a little. I used the Natasha Denona concealers to mattify a little because this had left me with such a drenched looking face that I didn't feel like I could just go forth with only it. The jury isn't still out. It's not going to be my number one because even though it looks so gorgeous when I'm putting it on, I'm never quite happy with the way that I'm looking for the rest of the day. I always just look a little over made up. It's got a lot of pigment for a tint. I'll link that other video in which I tried it on because I go into more detail about its qualities in that. Just the update on this since that video is that it's not slipping as easily into everyday rotation as the Lisa Eldridge one did. And that's because the Lisa Eldridge, it's just a little more demure. Okay, it holds itself back a little. It's a very skin-like sort of soft finish. It sort of blends in. It doesn't call attention to itself. Whereas this is very like drenchy glowy. It's just so drenchy glowy. And it's beautiful that it can do that. And it's just, I don't want that every day because I feel like I kind of have to manage it. Maybe a thinner layer of it. I'm going to keep experimenting with a little bit, but that's the sort of update from the halfway point with getting to know this product. Okay, we've got to move on from base and do something else that's interesting. These recently came in PR from Iris and Romeo. I think this is like a brand new launch for them. So they're still in their boxes so that I like remember to try them. I have been trying them. I've been like taking them out and trying them and putting them back in their boxes. It's the Weekend Skin SPF 30 Moisture Lip Balm. So a lip balm, they say, with SPF in it, which is great. Love to see it. They're these big, sturdy glass components. They're in these 3 really pretty brown-toned neutral shades. From top to bottom here, it's Dawn, Camellia, and Carob. The formula is just so pigmented. Who signed off on this being marketed as a lip balm? If I had bought this on the basis of it being marketed as a lip balm, I would be so disappointed because this is not a balm. This is a lipstick, okay? And it has really lovely qualities to the formula. I've actually worn this several days in a row. There it is sort of buffed and blended out, and you can see that it buffs out pretty easily to something relatively sheer, but the formula is not sheer. You can work with it to make it feel more sheer. But then when you do that, it really melts away to quite a thin, it has some stick-to-itiveness. It's really nice. It always looks really nice when I apply it, overline with it a little bit, and it settles into something quite thin and really nourishing feeling. Like it feels like it has really nice butters in it or something. It feels pretty stable. Like it feels like it's going to stay, and I wear it for a long time, and it's really lovely. It's just, it's not a balm level of pigment, and it doesn't feel like a balm level of thickness either. It feels like a really nourishing, liquidy lipstick, but not a liquid lipstick that dries down, like a liquidy lipstick. I wonder if maybe like they made it and then they just didn't know what to market it as because it's a little bit of a hybrid product formulaically. It's just so pigmented, okay? The one that I like the best is Dawn. That is kind of like a rosy milk chocolate. I'm gonna keep using it because I keep wanting to use it again because I keep really liking the way that it looked the day before. But it just really reads as heavy duty makeup to me and not as the skincare that it sort of promised to be. I needed you to know that. All right, more random things. The Refi Brow Sculpt, which is a clear brow gel. I use it much of the time. It has a cap on it that somebody who lives with me, a little toddler, took it, and either it's in here loose or it's somewhere else in the house. It's also almost completely used up. This is just a really reliable brow shaping product that I will often repurchase. I've been using the $1 Billion Brow Lift a lot because it's so sturdy. It's so gluey. Like it really, really holds the brows in place. It's really firm and reliable, like a firm hold, I mean. And I like that. I like being able to stick my brows in shape. So I've been reaching for this a lot. And the other thing from million, bajillion, gazillion dollar brows that I have been loving is the micro brow pencil in Raven because it's just this soft black that I really love. So in spite of the fact that I struggled so hard with whatever else they sent me, it's like a little brow pen that they sent me that mixed disastrously with the gel and like turned my eyebrows purple in that try on video. And then I was like, $1 billion brows, what are you doing to me? In spite of that, I've gone on to actually like make use of the products on a daily basis and really enjoy them, especially after I used up the 2 Merit pencils. I had brown black and dark brown. Dark brown's a little too warm for me. Brown black is the shade. They're so good and I use them up so fast. Simbri wanted me to tell you, the last time she was here, she was like, I feel like you have understated for the masses how truly incredible the formula is. She's like, yeah, you use it up really quickly. So there's it's pros and cons, right? There's this huge drawback to this product, which is just that it's a gel pencil, so it gets used up really fast. Then I keep talking about it on camera and how much I love it. And I have repurchased it myself at the price of $22, even though it only lasts a couple of weeks, basically, if you use it every day. And I felt like that was testimony enough that I had purchased it, even though you go through it so quickly. I felt like by doing that, I was telling you how truly extraordinary the formula is, because ordinarily I would not buy something that at that price that gets used up that quickly. And Simbri was like, yeah, you did. You told them that, but you still have not been explicit enough about how great it is. And so I'm just passing that along. I agree with her. It is the easiest to use and the best outcome, like the best looking brow pencil of all time, like kind of all time. And I'm not just saying that to make Simbri happy. It really kind of is. I just can't in good conscience really promote it because of that issue of it being used up too quickly. But it's true that I shouldn't in good conscience hold back that information from you because it is truly great. I like the color of Billion Dollar Brows though. I can't swatch the other ones because they're really used up. A gorgeous soft black that's really easy to use. And this is a more traditional hard pencil so it doesn't get used up in 3 weeks like the one from Merit. Isamaya primer. I haven't really been trying it. I really liked it when I did that review, right? I tried it. I put it on my face for the review. I was like, oh, all these good qualities, blah, 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 blah. And it's just the fact that it's so gel-y. Even though it didn't interact badly with my skincare in that video, I always worry that it's going to. It's cooling and sometimes I feel a little cold and I don't want something cooling on. I don't know. I've used it a couple times and it's been fine. It's not like it has revealed itself to me as something truly necessary in my routine in the weeks since I filmed that video. If it disappeared tomorrow, I wouldn't even notice that it was missing. The Phytosurgeon's bronzer, actually both of the bronzers. I bronzed my face in a video that was just all about me trying to really bronze. I loved how it looked. When I looked back, not just editing that video, but also I went on to film another video with that makeup look on, and I'm currently in the process of editing that. And I'm just like, oh, it looks good. It's not just the bronzer, it's like the fake freckles. So I'm kind of in the market for a real fake freckle thing. Okay. So let me know. People like the one from Freck, I think. I might get one. I might become a fake freckle girly this summer. Okay. So both of these I've continued to use. The Phytosurgeon's bronzer in Rosy Daybreak and the Chica Terra bronzer in Light from What's Up Beauty. Pretty much exactly the way I used them in that video. Like using the powder from What's Up Beauty all over my face and neck. I have it on my neck today. Not so much on my face because I was using something else that I'll tell you about in a second. And then the Phytosurgeon's bronzer more on the cheeks and nose and a bit on the brow bone to intensify and build it up. And it's so skin-like and lovely. I saw someone's comment about it getting hard pan. It's just the formula. It's like a waxy. Phytosurgeon's has this really unusual cream formulas for their bronzers and for the spectral shine, the highlighter. It's not a cream like other things. It feels like a hard wax, like knock, knock, knock. Like it feels just like a hard set pan of wax, but it does pick up on a brush and it does transfer to the face in a really thin, buffed out, very skin-like layer that's quite sturdy. Almost like you're polishing wood or something, like you're polishing something with wax, adding like a very thin layer of wax. That's the way that it ends up applying to the skin. So it's just how it's supposed to be. I love the sort of dusty shade of this. I love the bronze look that I've been getting. And yeah, I've been using those every day. The thing that I was trying today, the reason I didn't bronze as heavily is the Phytosurgeon. Look at this. This is Phytosurgeon's Dust. They finally did it. It's just a truly gray blush in the Phytosurgeon's formula, which is this. It just feels like a chocolate truffle that melts when you touch it, but it melts to something very pigmented and sturdy that really stays on the skin and shows on the skin. It's not like a melting balm or a featherlight balm. It's such an amazing formula. They released some new shades in this blush formula. Here's Steam. They sent these 3 to me. Dust, which is new. Steam, which is new. And then Condensate, which is like my favorite from before. I don't think it's new. They're so dusky and gunky and like already kind of mixed with gray. And then there's this gray that you can now mix them with. So there's the 3 of them. The slightly darker of the 2 blush shades is Steam and the other one is Condensate. I'm going to mix them in with the gray blush. So you see, you can just get something really dusty. And that's what I used today. It's most of us on my face, although I did top it with a little bit of powder bronzer. A little bit goes a long way of dust. Of course, I being me, when I opened the package, the first thing I did was to try to put it on just as a blush. I was like, this is the blush of my dreams. And it's too blue, right? It really just looked like gray. It's too pure to just be a blush. Add it into something else. It's a dream. It's like the dream mix-in. And this formula is the dream formula for a mix-in for a blush. I feel like I'm going to be able to turn any cream blush into my perfect cream blush now. And I think I will be using it a lot. Condensate is already pretty perfect. I mean, Condensate, both of these are really, really lovely, nuanced, and unusual blush shades already. Way more up my alley than what most brands offer in terms of shades for blush. So they don't really need all of that much dust mixed into them. I feel like I'm going to be using dust mostly to try to make blush shades from other brands work better for me. I'm so excited that they actually released it. The Dior palette, I haven't used it that much. I haven't been doing that much eyeshadow. I've been in like a lips and cheeks moment in my life, and I've been doing a lot of makeup looks like this one where I spend time on my base, kind of trying to tinker with it and play with it. I've been into playing with base face products lately and reviewing them. And then lips, cheeks, heavy brows, and then I kind of run out of steam and I'm like, just a little mascara on the eyelashes. That's what I've been doing. But when I have worn eyeshadow, it has been because this Dior palette continues to allure me. It is the Dior Backstage Eyes Palette in 002 Smoky Essentials. To me right now, this is the perfect palette. Like only palette you'll ever need type of vibe. I love having it in my makeup crate. I love seeing it there. I love working with it when I work with it. And I love that the spectrum of looks that I can get from subtler through to incredibly glam and grungy, and then like with daytime eye makeup, statement bronze, but sort of effortless daytime eye makeup in between. Everything is here in this palette and with the exact undertones that I want. The Violette FR blushes are in here. Honestly, I haven't used them enough to be able to update my information about them since I filmed a video where I was just trying them on for the first time. But I also haven't wanted to use them again. It's like it's almost like I don't remember what they're like. So it's like they didn't make, oh, there's a brush on the end. I didn't notice that. When I reviewed them the first time, I didn't notice that. Oh yeah, now I remember. I don't really like this brush. It's too stiff. Maybe in a pinch if you were on the go, but I would honestly rather just use my fingers. I feel like I need to get another brush and fix it. The brush was like making my cheeks patchy. So that was the shade Louise that I was putting on there, but I put it on top of a whole bunch of other cheek makeup that was already there. I was just trying to remember what I learned about them when I tried them on the first time. I remembered that it's billed as a matte formula, or like a matte balm. And when I did that try on, I was also using the Milk Makeup tint that's really wet look. And so they weren't able to mattify my cheeks, be matte. They just turned into something really glossy on top of that base. So I do want to experiment more with them without such a glossy base. So I'll try to remember to do that. Okay, the Rhode blush. I bought some more things from Rhode, more colors of things that I already had. Y'all, I should do a full Rhode review. I don't know where Sleepy Girl, my original favorite Rhode blush, I don't know where it is. I think maybe I took it away from myself so that I wouldn't use it and only it every single day. And then I purchased, when I was placing the order for the lip shape and the barrier butter, which I'll talk about in an upcoming skincare video. I'm going to do the equivalent of this with skincare. I just couldn't help it. Okay, I got another shade of the blush and another shade of the peptide lip tint. It's Toasted Teddy, the blush, and the peptide lip tint in Toast, which I really like. My first love was the peptide lip tint in Espresso, which I will swatch right here. Espresso is so cool toned as to almost be green. I love the way that it looks on. To me, nothing beats the way that this looks on my lips. I love it. I'm actually gonna put it on right now to show you, even though it's not the new one, so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, it's layered over 2 other products. Or at this point, I have like 3 different products layered on my lips and like 5 different products on my cheeks and all this. I have a bunch of stuff, right? So it's a little hard to tell. But you can see already, even mixed with the other colors that I had on my lips, you can see what I'm talking about. It adds this like edgy cast to the shade because it's that like really cool toned kind of brackish brown. Honestly, one of my favorite lip products in recent memory, maybe one of my favorites. Yeah, one of my top 2 from last year, maybe. However, because it has that edge on me, because I'm so pale, I can't really wear it when I'm not wearing any other makeup. I can't really use it as like a slight color with a little bit of health inducing, well, not health inducing, but it induces the vibe of health. What was I trying to say? Just a little bit of color to enliven the face when I have a very light makeup look on or no makeup look. It's not like that juicy skincare, slightly tinted thing for me. For me, Toast is that color. So I'm really glad that I got it. It's also a brown though. It's a light brown, so it doesn't look too pink on me. It doesn't look too makeup-y on me. It's a muted enough color that it really works as sort of like an everyday skin tint. And I'm really glad I got it. I don't like Toasted Teddy as much as I like Sleepy Girl. Sleepy Girl ends up looking really natural. I love the finish of this blush, but Toasted Teddy, it packs a bit of a punch for me. So I use it once in a while with a very light hand, but it hasn't reached the heights of Sleepy Girl, which is like my dream blush, in the way that Toast is like kind of on par with Espresso because it's so practical for me. We're just gonna have to zoom through, y'all. Otherwise, it's gonna be a lot. Let's zoom through. Makeup Forever Super Boost in Wherever Walnut. I did a first impressions of this in that same video in which I tried on the Violette FR blushes, and I have not used it since. It's been in here and I haven't used it because it's such a lip gloss, like sticky, thick, lip glossy gloss. And when I have something like these really lovely pigmented balms that aren't too much floating around, it's hard, even though it looked so good. Actually, it kind of ended up looking like this. Like this is kind of how it ended up looking, but it was much more of a lip gloss, much more of a makeup-y feel. So it's just, I've been hard pressed to continue experimenting with it. The Ami Colé mascara and the Cali Ray mascara are still my top two mascaras, with the Cali Ray winning because it washes off really effortlessly at the end of the day. It washes off like a tubing mascara, but doesn't apply like one. And I love the sort of light, raspy length that it gives to the lashes without causing them to stick together. It's just, I really, really like the way that it looks. The Ami Colé is a little more heavy duty. It's a little bit darker of a color. It's a little bit more makeup-y. So I often wear the Cali Ray. I'm wearing the Cali Ray one today. I often wear it when I don't have other eye makeup on. And if I use eye makeup, I'll use the Ami Colé. But they're both just phenomenal. Urban Decay Diamond Dog. This is a re-release of an iconic Urban Decay eyeshadow. It's so great. It's the perfect companion to the Dior. So when I was saying that the Dior palette is like anything, all that I could ever need, the only thing I would ever want, blah, blah, blah. In the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, but there isn't that like sort of really rich, creamy sparkle to kick it up a notch, that extra notch if you want that. Like that's the only thing that's missing from this palette. And this provides it. So the two of these together have been like, this is it. Summer Fridays lip balm. This came in the Sephora birthday gift. And I actually like it. This is the unscented one. No, it's scented. Pink Sugar. It's just like a sheer pink. So it's like the plain one. It's very vanilla-y. I like it. I like it better, I think, than some of the ones that claim to have a little bit more tint, like a little bit more color. I like it a lot as a lip treatment. It feels light and thin, not too gunky and thick and sticky, not too much of an event. Still a little something with the sweetness. I love having this travel size of Auric Glow Lust in this basket because the big one, it takes up so much space. The big bottle looks beautiful, like on a vanity. So when I finally get my vanity set up for daily use, I'll have it front and center on my vanity like I always have. But for now, sort of living out of a makeup suitcase, so to speak, I love having this in there. Here's the thing. For a drenched looking face, for wet look skin, I would so much rather use Auric Glow Lust as an underlayer just on my cheeks and bridge of the nose, a little bit on the chin, like just to kind of highlight and then put base on top of it and let it shine through and be really glistening. I would so much rather have that very flattering, like wet looking, but also blurring, controlled highlighting that doesn't highlight texture than paint my entire face with like a drenched looking base product like the one from Milk and then look a little bit uncomfortably like over pigmented on my face and just a little heavier with the reflect and the wetness. I would so much rather use it. This is like my go-to for a healthy glossy skin look when I want that. When I really, really want to lean into that and I do it with this, I never end up feeling the way I felt when I sat down today to film, which was like, it's just a little too much, like around the mouth, around here, just like a little too wet. Isamaya Black Veil. I've used it some since filming that video. I really like it. It's definitely the best thing from that video, from her line for me, but I have not been obsessed and wanted to use it at the exclusion of other things that I've been trying for my lips. This is NARS Bewitched, just the NARS lipstick in Bewitched. And actually, it's interesting. Here's a 3-product comparison for you, okay? These are exactly the kind of lip colors that I like, the products that I like, and let me tell you my relationship has been with each of them. So the lipstick swatch here is NARS Bewitched, and the middle one is Isamaya Black Veil. And then the third swatch here is, once again, Rhode Espresso. So you can see that Black Veil is a little more purple in it. And also it's the thinnest of the 3. It does the plumping. It has the least staying power, kind of. It feels like a little bit more like a traditional gloss and a little bit thinner. So it doesn't feel as reliable as the other 2. Bewitched is really interesting. It's like, it has almost a rum raisin quality to it, a little bit of redness that makes it look really natural, but intriguing. Like it feels like there's a lot of blood flow to the lips. Kind of, it looks like that when I have it on. People love it. When I wear it, they're like, what's on your lips? What's on your lips? So there's really something about the undertones of that color and the way that it works. I tend to wear it, like rub it into my lips like a stain and blot it and wear it really like a stain. It's a very thin formula. It ends up looking gorgeous. I like applying it with a brush and buffing it out around the edges. Just one of the best lip looks that I've come across in months and months and months. And it has stayed in play for a really long time. Like it's had a very long life in my makeup bag after its initial testing, way longer than a lot of products that I've tested over the past 6 months. So NARS Bewitched is like, it's been a home run. You can see comparing Black Veil to Espresso from Rhode, that Espresso from Rhode, it's got that like mucky green quality. Green is to it what purple is to Black Veil. And for me, I like a brown that leans a little green better than a brown that leans a little purple. They're both cool toned. They're both basically like blackened browns. And I love that. And I love both of them better than a lot of other things. Comparing them to each other, I like that mucky, swampy brown that leans a little bit green. So that's why Black Veil, even though it's such an iconic product, even just in my life, and I have this brand new tube of it and it's really great, that's why it has had to kind of compete to get worn on any given day. All right, I'm looking at what's left. I've lost my steam. I've lost my momentum. I'm going to hold this up and go through. A lot of things are things that I've been using for a long time, so I don't feel like I need to go into it. NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Chantilly. This is just my go-to Spot Conceal. Even though I've been using the Natasha Denona one lately, it's always around. I depend on it. Ugh, I already have to put it down to swatch something else. Westman Atelier Garçon. It is the Dream Blush, okay? I was making that face because it got twisted up and then the cap got put back on it. I just have sort of forgotten about it. It's fallen to the bottom of the box because other new blushes like the Phytosurgence and the Rhode blush have been springing to my hand. So I'm glad that I'm going through this because it's down there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot. I'm obsessed with that blush. I also have Chantecaille Chic Gelée and Happy in here. This is notoriously difficult to show on camera. For some reason, it reads as very fluorescent. This is the perfect blush for me when I want to add some dimension in a very light way, add a little bit of color back into my skin when I have applied base product and it sort of has washed me out in order to get an even complexion. When I want to bring a little color back, but I don't want there to be visible blush on my face. Like I really want it to be truly natural. I always go for Chantecaille Chic Gelée and Happy. And that's why after all these years, it sort of persists in my makeup bag because every once in a while that happens. And I'm going through and I'm looking at the blushes, the other blushes that are there. And I'm like, even the smallest amount of this would show as blush on my pale skin. But this one, the Chantecaille Chic Gelée, will look very natural. All it does is remove that look of being washed out like a ghost without adding a blush look in on top of it. NARS powder in Cliff is what I use. It's like there's a lot of pan on. I really use this. This is the powder I use if my skin has gotten a little bit too glossy. I don't use it every day. I just reach for it to kind of chill things out if the dewiness is getting out of control. The Isamaya, what was it called? Lip Balm in Vanity. I just haven't used it that much. It's like a sheer black. It's like a lip balm version of Black Veil. And the consistency is a lot like the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm. Really hard. Only a thin layer comes off. It's thin on your lips. Doesn't feel very nourishing. Almost like a watery, like a solid version of a lip oil. Sort of like a little bit watery. It doesn't have that textural satisfaction. And so I just kind of gravitate away from it. On the opposite end of the spectrum, look at this oldie but goodie. Hourglass Rise, the winner of the jelly balm category last year when I was doing the search for the best tinted lip balm. It's like a cool toned beige and it's a little bit mentholy, a little bit plumping. I continue to love the way that it looks, to reach for it, to finish looks when I want my lips to look like their best, shiniest selves, but without like color that overwhelms or sends other colors out of balance. I'm continuing to use it. I'm going to use it until I use it up. That's the vibe with that product. The Refi Sepia Gloss, another banger of a cool toned gloss. Let me swatch it next to its friend. Okay, this is so interesting. So this is the Refi Sepia Gloss, the one that's closer to my thumb. The other one is Rhode Espresso. Rhode Espresso continues to be more of a charcoal. Yeah, it's like greenish, grayish charcoal brown than any other really dark cool tone brown glosses. Refi Sepia, it's got a little more purple in it, kind of like the lip balm, like the liquid balm version of Black Veil. But I prefer this actually to Isamaya Black Veil. And it's also a little bit milkier than Black Veil. Both of these are so beautiful on. I would say it's also a little more brown than Black Veil. Both of these are so beautiful on. This is just the exact kind of color, the liquid balm feel of both of them, how incredibly nourishing and long lasting they are. It's like my dream products. There's too much stuff here, right? I need to weed this out and get it down to something a little more manageable, but I can never manage to weed away these because I'm always so happy with the way that my lips look when I wear one of them. I think if you want to try a lip look like that, but you're worried that the really intense sort of brackish blackened brown of Rhode Espresso is going to be too much for you, then Refi Sepia is a good place to start. The Merit mascara is in here. I really like it for a natural wispy look. I have been tending to use the other two instead, and so that's why it slipped to the bottom of the basket. I like having it around. My winner from last year from the tinted lip balm search, which is Soul Kiss. I just crushed the tip of it a little bit. Rabanne Love Balm in Soul Kiss. It has all of those same sort of like slightly cool toned nudie brown qualities of those balms. It's a little bit less intense color wise, and it's a solid balm, which I really like. It's such a good product. I'll link the search for the best tinted lip balm playlist in case you've never encountered this before, you don't know what I'm talking about. It features heavily in all of those videos. Oh my gosh. Okay, the cover for the cover for the Refi, I'm getting loopy. The cover for the Refi brow sculpt, it was in here. I unjustly accused my child of taking it away. Exa lip liner in Bare Your Hopes. This is like my go-to lip liner for a really natural, sort of undetectable look. Lately, I've been preferring the Isamaya lip liner, which is not in here. I think it's in a purse. I think I took it somewhere because actually I remember the event. I wore it to go to an event, and so I took it with me with just like one or two other items of makeup that I don't remember what they are. That is such a good lip liner. I'll link the Isamaya review. I have really been loving the lip look that I get with that lip liner, but this I've had for years, and this is just my like, oh, I want to line my lips, but I don't want it to affect the color of my lips or to affect the color of whatever else I'm applying. I just need like lip liner in my lip color. That's the one that I use, and it's a great formula. Clear brow gel from Merit. I think I was using this because I couldn't find my other brow gels for a while. It doesn't have as strong a hold as Billion Dollar Brows, but it's definitely effective enough. The Typology brow pomade is such a good fiber building brow gel, like a pigmented one. I've learned that it works best for me when I use another something clear to set my brows, and then while that product is still a little bit malleable, I go in with this and just build color only where I want it, rather than using this color building, fiber building product to do the sculpting. Because then if I need to sculpt a little extra, it also applies pigment even if I don't want it. So it works better in tandem with other things. It's so effective. It's one of these dealies. It's so effective at building hairs where there weren't any. Basically, just like the old CoverGirl one used to do, that product that I loved. I really like having this in my makeup bag. It's gotten a lot of use from me lately, even though it had slipped to the bottom. And then the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss, which is just a nice standby. And at the very bottom, this Merit Mirror Compact, which was limited edition. They might not be available anymore, but who knows? It might still be. That's everything. That's everything. Not me this morning being like, all I have bandwidth for is just a simple review video. I'm just going to take this basket. I'm not even going to gather makeup from the corner. I didn't even go through my purse to see what was in there. I was like, I'm just going to go easy on us all. I'm just going to take this up there. I'm just going to go through the things one by one, and it's going to be so mild. And now here we are, like a full, I used up the monitor battery and had to replace it. So I don't even know how long it's been. It's like a lifetime later. Here we are, exhausted, probably not going to be able to film the skincare one today. Hopefully it was worth it. This is it, right? This is the real nitty gritty of my current interactions with makeup. So I actually feel like it was worth it because I have really caught you up on the everyday hands-on experience of both using and testing for a review, everything that's of interest, all of the live wires right now in my life in makeup. I look forward to the skincare version, and I hope you do too. Keep an eye out for it. And I really hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.